everybody. Welcome back to Pollinator Week. Miss Ashlee has dragged me all the way out to the woolly boardwalk in McCall this morning, and I'm not quite sure what about this boardwalk reminded her of pollinators.
Well, Miss Bree, if you'll kind of scooch over a minute, you'll see behind her, there's a sign, and it's all about butterflies. Yesterday, I was on a bike ride, and I remembered that you said butterflies when you were talking about different animals that are pollinators.
Yes, you're right. Butterflies are absolutely pollinators.
Perfect. Well, kind of like with the bees, once I learned about something, I wanted to keep learning. So, do you want to hear some facts?
Always!
I have 4 main facts. Well, actually, I probably have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of facts about butterflies, but I'll stick with 4.
Okay.
The first is that butterflies are found on every continent but Antarctica.
Really?
And what continent are we on now, Bree?
Asia?
North America. This girl.
I'm just kidding. I knew that.
She knew that. The second thing I know is that butterflies taste with their feet.
With their feet?
With their feet. Probably something we wouldn't want to do.
Yeah.
Butterflies also are active during the day. So they are going to want flowers that are open during the daytime. And finally, butterflies, they're not the best pollinators. We learned about bees in our other video. And the reason for that is their legs are really, really long, so their body isn't brushing up against the pollen, and they don't have any specialized body parts that are there that can help pick up pollen as well.
Wow, Miss Ashlee, those are some really interesting facts. I love how much you love doing research. So while you were talking, I was thinking about flowers because you said that butterflies still like to land on and utilize flowers. Mm-hmm. If you were going to put flowers in your pollinator garden, there are some certain ones that you would want specifically for butterflies. Would you like to learn about that?
Yes.
Awesome. Here are some things to think about when trying to attract butterflies to your pollinator garden. Make sure you plant large clusters of flowers because butterflies really like that. Butterflies really like brightly colored flowers, so you want to make sure you've got some bright reds and yellows and oranges because those are the colors that butterflies are going to flock towards. So Miss Ashlee mentioned this earlier when talking about butterflies. You want to make sure you have flowers that are going to be open specifically during the daytime because these are the types of flowers that butterflies want to visit. And lastly, make sure that the flowers you're planting are large enough to act as a landing platform so that the butterflies have somewhere to stop and rest.
I didn't even think about those things.
Yeah.
That's so cool. So now you all know some things that you can plant to attract bees and butterflies to your pollinator garden.
Awesome.
Can I now tell you some things about monarch butterflies, which is a species of butterfly found all over the United States, and a lot of us learn about them.
Yes, let's do it.
So this is an interpretive sign, and interpretive signs are found, well, they're found everywhere. And the cool thing about interpretive signs is they can tell you information about a place, people, or even things like plants and animals. And this one is all about monarch butterflies. And it got me thinking on my bike ride yesterday, why do we have a whole interpretive sign here in McCall, Idaho about monarch butterflies? And I looked at the map and I realized that monarchs are found everywhere. So no matter where you're from in the United States, you've probably seen a monarch butterfly. But what makes it really cool is here in McCall, which is in Idaho, the monarch is the state insect. How neat is that? And I thought I could kind of follow this interpretive sign and tell you a few facts about monarchs and why they're important. The first thing is that monarch butterflies, just like birds, they migrate. They go anywhere from 2,000 to 3,000 miles. Up in Canada, down in Mexico, which is where they spend the winter. So the life cycle of a butterfly or a monarch is pretty neat. They start out as teeny tiny eggs, and then they grow and become larvae or caterpillars. After that, they go into chrysalis, which is when they're in those cocoons. They're gonna beat their wings, which are gonna be wrapped up tight. They beat their wings, come out of their cocoons, and they're adult butterflies. And monarchs are really cool adults because they're bright orange, which tells predators, hey, I don't taste very good, so don't eat me. And you might be wondering, well, what makes them not taste very good? When they're caterpillars, they only eat milkweed, which is pretty gross and other insects can't even eat it. So by eating this certain plant as a caterpillar, it makes them dangerous as adults. The last thing to mention about monarchs is their decline. And just like with bees, things like climate change and habitat loss are making it to where the monarchs are having a harder time. Another big part of that is that milkweed that I mentioned that their caterpillars eat, and that's the only thing they eat. There's less milkweed. So planting milkweed is a great thing to do. And speaking of milkweed, and Miss Bree had mentioned pollinator gardens earlier, it's important to plant a variety of flowers because just butterflies, or monarchs, this is one species, but they like to have 2 different types of plants. As caterpillars, milkweed, and as adult, those red, orange, and yellow flowers.
I'm going to show you how to make a butterfly puddle for your pollinator garden. So you're going to need 4 things for this project. You're going to need a small, shallow dish. You are going to need some salt. You are going to need sand. And lastly, you will need water. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is fill our dish, our shallow dish, with sand. Pour that in. I'm going to kind of make sure it fills up that dish. And I'm patting it down. And what I'm going to do is put a small indent in the center of our sand. Okay? Next thing we're going to add is our salt. So this is just regular old table salt. And we're just going to add a couple sprinkles, like shake, 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 shake. Shake that salt. Okay, so the reason we're adding salt is because male butterflies really like to enjoy the salt and the amino acids that are in salt. So it's really important for the boy butterflies. Okay, so we added our salt. We have our little indent. And now we're going to slowly add water to the sand. Nice and slow. We're going to let it soak in. You want to have it so that the butterflies can land, stand on the sand, and drink the water. So you're going to want to put this in a shady spot in your pollinator garden. And you're going to want to make sure that you check on it every once in a while because this water always needs to be fresh to keep our butterfly friends healthy. So if you don't have these materials, there are still some other ways you can create habitat for your butterflies. You can add black or dark colored stones to sunny spots in your garden, and that will allow the butterflies to rest, warm up, and bask in the sun before they take off and head to their next location. Thank you everybody for joining us for Pollinator Week. So Miss Ashlee and I taught you about bees and butterflies, which are 2 types of pollinators, but there are also other things out there such as birds and bats that are also act as pollinators, so we encourage you to do your own research and your own learning if you'd like to learn more about those pollinators. Do you have anything to add, Miss Ashlee?
I think that's it. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone.
All right, bye guys.
See ya.